Alright guys, what's up? Alright, got another devlog going on here. So as of last night, I started working on the interactive side of things. So you can see right here I have all my interactive types set up. Interactives aren't going to really be too hard to set up. It's mostly just making sure that I get meshes in place that actually take up the correct amount of space. But this will be so that the player can place fast travel nodes, doors, switches, vending machines, jump pads, and a fortress is an area where the player is able to build a fort. That's future stuff. I don't know if it's something that I necessarily want to do in the first Revulsion because being single player, Revulsion One, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I realize that like Fallout 4 kind of had fortress building and it was a single player game, but like I'm thinking to myself that unless people really want it, I'm probably not going to do that much difference, that many differences to the first Revulsion. But the idea is that in the second Revulsion, there will be these plots of area that you can build forts in, and you can save the forts, and load the fort back up again, and really simple stuff like that. And they could just be sort of spread out in different areas, and they kind of act as your hub world, right? And like I kind of want Revulsion 2 to be a little bit more, open world-ish, kind of open-ended-ish. It won't be totally though because there's still levels, but the levels will have spaces in them where, it's more open and you kind of have a chance to kind of chill out with your friends and actually like build stuff and then run missions. So like maybe there'll be one um some very much larger open world levels or something like that that are not the kind of levels that you can build, but like is like a pre-built level that um it's something where you could choose like little plots of land and like build on and stuff like that. But that's Revulsion 2 stuff. That's later on kind of things. But that's what the fortress thing is basically they're markers that are placed by the level designer. You won't be able to do anything with them for now though. They won't exist for the first Revulsion unless people really want it. I really don't think so. I'm actually imagining that there's going to be a whole lot of like demand. Honestly, there's not a lot of I mean, even in spite of lowering the price to 9.99, there's still not a huge shift. There isn't really like a huge shift or increased interest in the game and everything like that. With that said, though, I've actually been kind of going through, and you can see here. Here's my Steam wish list, right? And this wish list now contains games that I find interesting that are within the same subgenre of Revulsion that I'm probably going to want to try and do like live streams of me actually playing through. And a lot of these look really cool. And look at that. I mean, if some of these, I swear, some of these people probably won't even be able to tell the difference between, Revulsion and some of these games are actually a bit overpriced for what they are. I know that Iron Fury is a bigger company with 24.99. I don't know. Um, for these types of first-person shooters, as far as I can tell, somewhere between $5 and $15 makes a lot more sense. So in the case of like Project Warlock, would probably be one of the first games that I actually want to do this with. To do like a live stream of actually playing through. I can imagine maybe Proteus will probably end up being a lot more expensive. I'm not really sure. There's Dusk and there's Strafe, and they're kind of in that same range. But I look at something like a Nightmare Reaper, and I'm scratching my head. This is $18, $19 game. But with that said, that's fine. Um, if I get my hands on a copy of it, I will definitely check it out. But here's pretty much the list of games to all that I'm interested in checking out. That some of which are totally free, and then I can have a little bit of fun just doing some playthrough stuff on that. So anyway, so RetroPew here. has like a full list of like all of the games. Hey, there's Revulsion. It's in the list. Um, and it's pretty much, yeah, like there's a lot of really interesting projects here. Some of them are missing. Like for example, I just found out about this one, and it actually looks really cool. And it's supposedly a here. Let me open this up. It's supposedly uh, it's a Metroidvania, 90s style shooter meets Metroidvania. Huh. That's pretty interesting, actually. That is actually really interesting. Um, so yeah, there's a few things that aren't on the list. I think there's one other one that caught my interest as well. This one right here. It and you notice that these are all selling for 9.99. They're all selling. I guess it's a really good thing that I lowered the price of Revulsion because it matches much more closely to what other games are selling for at the same price range, or the same general style. Now I don't know in the case of Revulsion if Revulsion is a larger scale game than a lot of these games, but I guess I'll find out when I actually play. But like this one actually kind of looks like a little bit like it sort of steals ideas from like the Legend of Zelda or something like that, you know? Yeah, see how the dungeon they're all like little dungeon areas and you kind of run through. So anyway, with that said, um yeah, there's actually some pretty cool stuff. So this will be stuff that I'm streaming that I'll just end up streaming, but honestly, I really want to do a Nier Automata. Like the more I learn about the game, the more I hear the music, the more it makes me just actually want to sit down and fucking marathon stream play through fucking Nier Automata. I it's yeah, really interesting. It looks really good, and I know a lot of people probably just like watched a couple of videos like I did, and it's being considered like the masterpiece that you will probably never play. And after I listened to the music, like I kept playing it during my live streams, I was just like, wow, this is amazing. This is absolutely fucking amazing. And I can't believe how good it sounds. So with that said, all right, guys. I think I'll probably. No, let me see. There's probably some other stuff. I'm trying to think. I usually always forget something whenever I end these. So let me chill for a second and load up. I think I actually managed to get everything pretty much pointed out. I think that's that. I'm actually looking forward to kind of stepping up my game as far as like doing the whole streaming thing and everything. Um, I'm trying to think though. Oh yeah, on that note, once I have interactives done, that's switches and doors and everything like that. I have that. Then I just do volumes, and then the editor will be officially capable of producing save level files that can be parsed in the first revulsion. Now I'm not really sure how I want to release the editor. Actually, yeah, this is actually important. The editor being released as a separate thing makes more sense because it's multiplayer. The editor is actually a multiplayer game, right? And for now, I can release the editor free, so that you can build maps for the first revulsion for free. But the level editor is actually the foundation for the next game, which might be kind of weird or confusing. I'm not really sure. I don't think it really probably matters. Most people probably aren't going to really care. But I was thinking that like the easiest way to release the editor would be to just bundle it inside of Revulsion 2, and I mean bundle it inside of Revulsion, and just make it so that like you can click a thing and it brings you to this, and it's like it's contained within Revulsion as just like a separate thing, right? That's going to be a little weird because Revulsion's a single player game, and the level editor is designed to be multiplayer. In other words, it has a server browser, it has everything going on over here. It's like it's not just like some simple little thing. It has a different foundation in it, the game mode, and everything like all set up for being entirely multiplayer right from the get go. Where you know what I mean? Um, so if I was to package this in with the first Revulsion, it'll be really weird because you won't be able to play with your friends when you're actually playing the game, but you can play with your friends when you're editing the levels. Can someone explain how that would feel? That seems a little weird to me. So it makes more sense, in my opinion, that I would release the SDK as a separate thing and and have it be something like that. Like, I don't know, maybe maybe that's just the best way to go about it, but it then ends up meaning that I have to release two things instead of one, which means I have to I have to upload the SDK as a build that's something that's free, and then have it like link back to the first Revulsion for I don't really, not really sure. Not really sure how to handle that. I'm still thinking about it. Any suggestions or feedback? Definitely welcome. Okay, so with that said, I think I've got everything out that needs to be said. Hope you guys enjoyed. Yep, and see you tomorrow.